Indie film studio Neon releases How to Blow Up a Pipeline April 7th. From director Daniel Goldhaber, Arierla Barer, Kristine Froseth, and Lukas Gage star. This is a crime drama thriller that follows a group of environmental activists / eco-terrorists as they plan to blow up an oil pipeline. Shawn Jackson from Lost in the Reel joins me to talk about the film How to Blow Up a Pipeline. He has some interesting observations about this film, about Neon Studios, and about points of view, worldviews, and messaging.
I'm really excited about. It is being released by Neon, who they're kind of like A24 and IFC Midnight for me. Like if they're releasing a film, I'm going to pay attention because the people working at those studios, they know what they're doing. So very excited that it's a Neon release, and they only have a couple a year, but it's How to Blow Up a Pipeline. And I think it already has like over 30 reviews on Rotten Tomatoes, and it's at 100% right now. And it's like this ecological thriller about these kind of like radical young kids who are trying to make a giant statement against like this oil corporation, basically. So definitely lots of political statements in there, and it might turn some people off, which is fine. But it just looks like a really solid, like almost like Hurt Locker type thriller. So I'm really excited for this. Sasha Lane is in it, who was in American Honey. And Sasha Lane, I don't know, I see her, I'm like, I'm interested. So this looks like a really, really solid movie. So I'm excited for it.
Yeah, when you put it on the list, I looked up the trailer, and American Honey, that is one that I haven't seen, but it's on my list of movies to watch.
So good.
I like the Hurt Locker analogy that you bring up, because that now that you say that, it does evoke some memories as to, yeah, I could see how that would be a similar style film. I'm not huge into politics and making these statement things, so it is not on my list. But it does look like it is really well put together. And when you look at films that are asking tough questions and somewhere between making a statement and posing a question, the old thing is where one person's terrorist is another person's freedom fighter. The old line. So one person's environmental activist is another person's eco-terrorist. That is an interesting question to pose, and it looks like it's really well put together in this film. So that I could totally see how it'll be an interesting watch, because the filmmaking in the trailer looks really well done. And I'm not familiar with any of the other actors, but yeah, I echo a lot of what you said there too. In that.
As long as they're not beating us over the head with the messaging, that's what I hate. As long as they're not doing that and they're like actually posing those questions like you brought up, Ryan, then I'm going to be on board.
I'm hypersensitive to anything that's preachy. And it's not just anything preachy. It's the stuff that I agree with that's preachy is even worse.
Yeah.
Like if it's something that I can kind of like I disagree with, I can just throw it out of my brain. But if it's something that I agree with, like if I were to do a preachy film about drinking more beer and watching football, I would hate that film. Like if it was preachy. So
yeah.
So that's just me. I am hypersensitive to anything political, like or preachy, especially preachy. So that's why it's not on my list, but I agree with you.
I will say I don't want to discredit the movie, though, because from what I've seen and what I've heard so far, it doesn't look like it's going to be preachy, but it could reach that level. We haven't seen it yet.
And maybe that's just me being hypersensitive, and my eyes are constantly rolling at anything that's preachy and trying to send a message. So so that's why it's not on my list. But I agree 100% with you that it looks really well done. And Neon Studios does have a really good reputation, and I love A24. I love IFC and IFC Midnight, two different branches of the same corporate arm. So I love both of those studios. So if you're comparing the two, then I trust in your judgment, your taste in film. So
thank you, my friend.
Yes.